All right, hello class. This is Mrs. Sweetjack, and today we are going to be talking about an upcoming piece in our concert cycle called Geometric Dances. And we are going to be first talking about the BDA method and how this is going to apply to us learning the piece. So, what is BDA first? BDA stands for before, during, and after. So what we're going to be talking about specifically with geometric dances before is what is musicality. We're going to go through the three movements that are in geometric dances and some of the interesting repeats that we have in the first movement. And we can also listen to the music. During our learning, we can sing and clap certain rhythms that may be challenging. And then in the round dance, which is the second movement, we can talk a bit about phrasing and how we would sing it and determine phrasing. And then after, we're going to discuss the record refine technique that we can use to kind of put all these techniques together and make sure we have a solid foundation of the music. So before, first, what is musicality and phrasing? So these two words can be used interchangeably. And basically, it just means to make music more expressive. So if the line goes up or the line goes down. And what we have to do is learn how exactly do we phrase music and make it sound expressive. And a good question to actually answer that question is, well, how do we naturally sing music? Because our natural singing voice is the closest we can get to as accurate and phrasing that would make the most sense musically. And so one way that my teacher has me think of it is when the line goes up, you get louder, and when the line goes down, you get softer. So there are three movements in geometric dances. We are going to have the square dance, the round dance, and the triangle dance. So in the square dance, we are going to talk a little bit about the repeats that we have with the codas. So what we're going to do first, in the music, you might see this here where it says DS al coda. And the DS stands for del segno. And once we see this part, we are going to jump all the way to this little S symbol over here back in measure 12. And we're going to keep playing all through the music until we reach this section where we see two coda with this little circle symbol with that cross sign in the middle. And once we see two coda, we're going to jump to the coda, which is right here in measure 51. And we're going to finish out that last line of music. And that's how the repeats work in the square dance. So next up, the round dance. It may seem really easy at first, right? Because you just have quarter notes, a few eighth notes here and there. But really the challenging part of this piece is the phrasing. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And lastly is the triangle dance. And this one is in a 6/8 time signature. So it's going to give you that feel where you could count in eighth notes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you can think of it once we get faster, how I'm going to be conducting it, which is going to be in 2. So there'll be 3/8 notes per beat or a dotted quarter note per beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or together that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So during learning this piece, we have in the square dance lots of these 16th, eighth note rhythms here. And to count the 16ths, we're going to be saying 1 E and a or 2 E and a. So I took this line from the viola part where we can either say or clap for practice 1 E and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 E and 1 E and a 2. Or we can clap this. 1 E and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 E and 1 E and a 2. Now this is the viola line, but this happens in all parts throughout the music. So this is for everyone. Now in the round dance, once again, I took this from the cello part, but everyone has this melody at different times. And so we need to learn how exactly we want to phrase this. So using that same method I talked about earlier with when the line goes up, you get louder. When the line goes down, you get softer. We're going to try to use this here, and we're going to go all the way up to this G in measure 4. So I will sing it with solfege, but this is the way you can practice it and make sure you start. They have written there mezzo piano, and you're going to get loud and then softer. So we have do, sol, do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, then it would continue on, and you can use that method for the whole melody and the rest of the movement. And lastly, in the triangle dance, we have some interesting rhythms in 6/8. So I took this from the violin part in measure 9, where we have eighth notes and then we have quarter notes. And the quarter notes are going to feel like a hemiola because it's a bit on like the off beats that the main note happens. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're clapping it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in the lower lines, so this goes for string bass and for cello, you have at the very beginning this pizzicato where you have the main beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the hemiola, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So same thing as the violin right there. And so after, we have our record refine technique. So what's record refine? Simply, you record yourself playing a small section or the whole piece. You listen back to it and figure out what needs refining. So there are two different ways you can do this. You can do an immediate fix where you identify a very small section of music and say, oh, I'm playing this note out of tune. I need to get that one a little bit lower. And then you immediately record again by fixing that note and then identify a new problem and keep going from there. Or if it's a bigger issue or a bigger excerpt of music, then you can go through the method of identifying it and then playing whatever that issue was 3 times right in a row before you record again to find a new issue. Or just in general, if you're recording the entire piece and listening back, we can make a list of what sounds good versus what needs work. And that is our BDA example for geometric dances.